If your brand belongs in the heart of the yachting world, this is where it happens. Yachting International Radio reaches over 1 million yachting professionals and enthusiasts every month, with 77 million impressions, 220,000 social followers, and 74,000 podcast subscribers. Our hosts are insiders, crew, captains, CEOs, trusted voices shaping the industry. This is targeted, high-impact advertising in a luxury niche. Visit yachtinginternationalradio.com/advertise. Your audience is already listening.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the Bridge Yacht Podcast. These are my guests, John and Tyler Wilson from the company Angelwax. Of course, we come here. We like to talk about new innovative technologies in the yachting community, give new techniques and promising companies a time to come forward and get introduced to our network and to our industry. So with that being said, if you gentlemen would so kindly introduce yourselves and what brought you here today.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. I'm Tyler Wilson. I'm with Angelwax USA. I live in Naples, Florida, and I work primarily with exotic cars and yachts. I'm more of a hands-on detailer, installer, and distributor. This is Mr. Hogg, the evil scientist. He's the one who's manufactured everything.
I've been told you're the evil genius, sir.
That would appear to be me, yes. My name's John. I'm the chemist, oblique evil genius.
Oh, yeah.
We're in Glasgow. I'm in Glasgow, or Paisley, and we work closely with Tyler and other installers to get basically what people need, and at the present time, environmental issues, to keep things clean without necessarily using a lot of water. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at. But we're developers, so we manufacture on site, and we come up and develop all the products on our own. So there is a unique twist to just about everything that we do, because it's all customer driven.
Yeah, Tyler was telling me that.
Yeah, we will make what you want, not what we want to sell you.
Yeah, it's
that's
really
what I was
unique.
telling Alex.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was telling Alex that most people don't manufacture their own products. There's a white label, they call another company, amongst other companies that are being made. Hey, I need this or that. And it's just a bunch of corporate hoops to jump through.
Yeah. Whereas here, if I supply Tyler or anybody else a product, but Tyler product, and Tyler phones me up and says, it's drying too quick, or it's not doing what it's supposed to do, within a couple of days, we can spin it round and you can have a product that does do what it's supposed to do. And that is the benefit of dealing directly with a manufacturer. There's minimal hoops to jump through. We can spin things quickly. So it's not done by committee. I get the call, I change the product.
So you guys can make like custom products for a specific vessel. The vessel calls you up and they're like, we have this.
Absolutely.
And you make it customized completely for them.
Absolutely, because Tyler was talking about fragrances, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, even though we're talking to Marine here, John can manufacture anything. Makeup, fragrances, shampoos, body washes, car cleaning, marine, aviation, railway, industry, paints, inks.
Yeah. If it's a surface, it can either be cleaned, prepped, or coated. It doesn't actually matter what the surface is. So, you know.
Could you go a little bit more background of like your experience, John, with how long you've been doing chemistry and how you got to this point? Because I mean, that's honestly just amazing.
Well, I graduated when I was 21. So I've been doing this for 39 years now. Started off as a surface coatings chemist, making paper varnishes, various inks, coatings for aluminium tubes, all sorts of stuff. We then diversified into a product which is known as a cable marking ink, and that prints the wee hoops that you see on your electrical cables, especially LAN ones for internet. These things are printed at 2 kilometres a minute. So it's very particular. So yeah, you produce cable at about 2 kilometres a minute.
That's insane.
A cable factory is an interesting place. You have a block of copper at one end, and at the other end, you have cable, and that's it. So we did all that. I don't know if you're allowed to mention other companies, but an American company that's based in California had approached their UK distributor to see if they could source a car wax. And this is about 20 years ago. And he came to me because I knew him, we'd been doing bits and bobs. And he says, can you do a car wax? And I thought, well, you put waxes into printing inks. You know, you use waxes to make your ink waterproof or freeze resistant or whatever. I thought, well, I'll take the ink out and leave the wax behind, throw in a bit of Canova, because that's in everything, and a wee bit of beeswax. And 15 minutes later, pretty much, we had the first formulation. It came out right pretty much first time. Then the company wouldn't accept it because it wasn't made in the US, which is fair enough. You know, that's the nature of what they do. We then got it reviewed. It got a 4.5-star review in the local or the national motoring press. We started getting phone calls. Can I buy a tub? So you're making, first batch was 5 tubs. And second batch was 10, and it spiraled from there. People then asked, can you do a shampoo? Because you've got to clean the car before you wax it. Yeah. I went, probably, hold on. So because I wasn't in the industry, we approached it from a different angle. I made a proper shampoo, and that worked. And then wheel cleaner, wheel wax. And then it spiraled from there, interior cleaners, exterior cleaners, and all the rest of it. So over the course, we've developed everything literally from scratch and kind of learned as we were going along. What that does is it gives us an interesting angle, because our approach isn't the same train line style approach that everybody else has. If you go into the industry, you're taught how to make how it was done 5 years ago. There's no room for innovation. I've come from an area that has many different chemicals. Now you've brought chemicals in from the printing ink trade, from my UV photoinitiator days, and put them into certain products because I know they'll work, they'll give it an edge. And because of how we are, nothing's off limits. You know, we can try, I'll try anything. So you get to talk to unique raw material manufacturers. You use products that nobody else has got. Our graphene, for example, was developed entirely in conjunction with a graphene manufacturer who wasn't in this area. So between the two of us, we came up with a product that fitted the detailing area. So we do things differently, and it's based on not knowing anything at the first place. So you're not conditioned.
I wish I could show you his lab. He's blown stuff up all over the wall. Oh, that getting worked together. The little satin wall, brick walls, all shiny from the ceramic coating, just splattering out. It's funny.
Yeah, so we do different things, and because we're different, we sit differently. We don't sit the same as everybody else. And equally, as we said earlier, we can spin products round, and we can make sure they work for the environment that it's supposed to. The coating, ceramic coating being case in point, initially it wasn't much use for the Florida conditions, the high humidity, the high temperature. It was fine, I understand you're in Palma, it was fine for Europe and the European marinas because it's dry heat, but it didn't help Tyler with the humidity. So we rejigged the formulation and got it to work, and it so hard works well in other environments. But we can do that because you talk directly to me. So there's no committee involved.
The situation he's talking about was for, I think it was 2023, we were having problems with boats coming out of late March into maybe early spring. Rather, you couldn't, the way you put the coating on it, it was flashing almost immediately. The solvents in it should give you 3 to 5+ minutes working time, meaning allow it to sit on there, absorb into, and level it easily. We used to do a dry wipe with just dry towels, multiple dry towels, one towel smearing it, another towel was leveling it, another towel was making sure you level it, and sometimes a fourth towel. It was kind of rigorous to do. And the process I did was we would polish it, we'd get everything ready, and we would either wash it that night and get it ready for in the morning to where we just come in and solvent wipe and coat, or we would wash it in the morning, solvent wipe and coat. Either way, there's still this moisture from either the pressure washer or the dew left overnight that the gel coat has absorbed. Now, when we were doing it, the coating was locking almost instantly. So it's fine, but once you break the barrier coat, the membrane off the top, the coating's reacting because it's curing from the bottom to the top because the solvents are outgassing and the coating's being pushed down. When that happened, I literally, I'm calling John. Hey, John, what do I do? It's locked up. What do you mean? He's like, sometimes these situations happen and it just doesn't make sense, but we have to work through it. So the coating was just curing as soon as we were putting it on. And I had to go get 800 grit sandpaper within 5 minutes and sand half a boat. It was at that point. But that's my expectations. The coating looks splotchy. I got it leveled, but it wasn't perfect. Most other people may have left it and said, the client won't notice it. It's had to be perfect for me. So in this point, John sent me, I think it was 2 or 3 different bottles with different solvent levels in it. Let's try it out. What works? Is it easy? Okay. Is it still going to be just as durable? And ultimately, we just decided that the issue we were fighting against should help us. So now we use a wet towel that automatically and instantly activates the coating and cures it as you're wiping it. So as you're wiping it with a wet towel, it's staying moisturized and leaving the product open as it's hot out there. And then you come back with the dry towel. Same amount of product, less effort to remove, and more efficient when it comes to curing the product. I can apply the product and it ran in 2 or 3 hours and it's still good, a year and a half, 2 years later.
Wow.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It
just seems like it's so customized.
It has been.
It's a sensible way of doing things.
Yeah. Like there's no waste. It's kind of like instead of all these products are like overarching, they're trying to reach as many people as are possible. But you guys, you just come in and get the exact chemical compound, exact ceramic coating, exact wax, custom, completely ordered towards the vessel, so it can be as perfect as possible. Like you're talking, like no whirls on the paint, no blemishes, just a perfect coating that's customized for $1 million yacht.
Well, as much as we want, John can probably attest, as much as we want to have the Angelwax logo and everything, it's more, out in the world, it's more important about having the right product, whether it's our logo or your logo, the boat's logo. The products in the bottle matter, and how you're using them and my help to help you use them is what's most important. We're all going to make money, but we don't need to make money and then deliver a product and then the client's not happy.
It doesn't gain you anything.
The money didn't matter at that point.
So
nor did the logo on the bottles.
Yeah, you keep the client happy and it works better that way. You work it backwards.
So white labeling may be a better solution for this industry because yachts just, you can't step on a yacht and not see the boat name on every piece of fabric, clothing, here and there, upside down, inside out, of everywhere. It's on every piece of cabin sometimes. So why would they not have why would they not have the top of the line detail products in the world with their logo on it? That way, when they're out and about, they're being seen filling up a bucket of shampoo at a marina, and they're like, this boat looks really good. I bet it's that shampoo they're using, but it's their logo on it.
And I think honestly that would be like a really cool selling point, is because like if a boat can be like, we have our own boat wash, our own logo on, it's our particular exterior care system for Sail Yacht Acai.
Of course, that's
customized for that.
That's what we can do because of who we are, because we make, and that's the difference.
But the industry demands more than it makes sense for a company to stock. Like it doesn't make sense for John to go out and buy raw materials for 100 different products. That makes sense, but how often are you going to use it? It's like we're working on the teak I told you about. It doesn't make sense to go out and stock all this teak oil and manufacture teak oil for maybe 1 or 2 yachts to intermediately need it, kind of thing. And kind of like an air freshener system. We were talking about fragrance. If you could work with a yacht on an engineer, they could have special bespoke scents filtered through the yacht. There is a demand for it, but there's not people knocking down the door saying, I need these things. We have to do the footwork and bring it out to the market saying, this is what we can do. Nothing's off limits. But like you said, you looked at some, we talked, you can't find online what we've talked about. It doesn't make sense to push it online. This is more behind the closed doors. We're working with you. This is not for the world. We're working with you, the client, the company, whether it's a manufacturing company, a marina, or an independent owner. We work with them.
And that's a good way of doing things. They get what they want.
Yeah, and that's really what all the yachting is about. It's about getting what you want, getting the best things for your boats and for your team. How have you guys found it breaking into the super yacht industry so far?
Difficult. It's loyalty. It's coming down to loyalty, and you could have the best product in the world. Yeah, bro, that's great. I understand what it can do, but I'm stuck in my ways. I'm a captain. I've been captaining for 40 years. I want to use what worked in the 70s or 80s because it hasn't failed me yet. Maybe I could get a better shine. I could get better ingredients, but they found consistency. To a certain point, they're gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if they're gonna use a wax or a sealant or whatever, and they're gonna do it half a year or every season, and they're okay with the shine and they're okay with it, it's hard for me to upsell them on another product. And getting back to the loyalty and the stocking, I've contacted many marinas and yard companies in the Caribbean islands to try and promote this washing a boat without water. They will not stock the product if they don't have yachts coming to them saying, I need this. Because as you know, like in Palma and Ibiza, they go to these exports to provision. There's that marina, that yard, wherever they're at, is a one-stop shop for food, detailing, anything. So and space is limited on islands. So for a marina to say, okay, Tyler, I hear you. I don't trust you, but I have to. Send me products. I'll try it. Now they have to take the investment, not knowing that it's going to pay off, because they have to then, we've gotten paid. Now they have to do what we're trying to do and sell it to the captains who say, I don't need it.
Well, in reality, they might need it if they knew what it did.
They're stubborn.
Yeah.
They're very stubborn and stuck in their ways. It's not like the car industry. If you say, hey, I got this newest product. Oh my God, let me try it out. Yeah. They will, in the car industry, they will break loyalty like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. In the marine industry, I respect it. It's a challenge. It's fun, but I respect the loyalty to a certain brand or people. I wouldn't say brand. I trust your word.
Yeah.
If Angelwax went away, I trust Tyler and John to sell me the next best thing they're coming out with. Brands are irrelevant. The people are what matter. The relationships.
Oh,
matter.
Absolutely. And this game, as Tyler said, in the car game is different. It's whatever's new and shiny.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
A $500,000 Ferrari, don't get me wrong, is pennies compared to $100 million yacht. You have no room to screw up on a yacht. If you put the wrong product on a yacht, all right, Tyler, it's $5 million to repaint plus all the down payment and the lawsuits coming with it, the downtime. I mean, the guy with a Ferrari is going to pay me to do it. He says, "Oh, well, you're going to charge me $3,000 for my Ferrari." Dude down the streets offering 10-year lifetime warranty, and all this other crap for like $1,000, $1,500. Have at it, brother. And they don't care. All right, I'll see you. I'm breaking my 5-year, 10-year relationship with you over money because it's the newest, bestest thing, and they think they could get a deal because they can bring their Ferrari to a new buzzword. And like ceramic was the biggest buzzword. Now graphene is the newest buzzword, and triphene and all this other shit that doesn't really matter. And John will get into you about why that doesn't matter, about how people sell. Well, it's a ceramic coating, then now it's a graphene coating, but a graphene is not a ceramic.
Yeah.
And John will tell you.
And graphene doesn't stick to anything. So there's no such thing as a graphene coating.
Because science is science.
Yeah.
You can't debunk it.
What is graphene coating?
Let
me go get some stuff. I'll be right back.
No, but what we do with the graphene is we use it as a performance additive. That's the best use of it. So you take something that's really good, put a bit of graphene in it, not a lot, and it becomes even better. And that's how we use it. That's how it should be used. Because graphene on its own won't adhere to anything. It won't bond. You blend it with a proper ceramic, then because carbon and silicon are very similar chemically, the graphene bonds to the silicon, and the silicon has bonded then to the boat. So it becomes part of the boat. So the graphene is actually attached to the silicon, and the silicon's attached to the boat. and that's chemically how it all works.
Yeah.
So it's a slightly different beast, but it's a buzzword, and people
Just like
love
AI
buzzwords.
is.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on that. I see huge benefits in AI, but I also see people depending on it, and that's dangerous.
Oh yeah,
Don't
because
you know? Yeah.
I'm working in that now. Like I'm developing a platform that we're doing to help sell and promote products like yours and whatnot. But it's like then I look into it and you see all the people saying, "Oh, AI agentic processes. Oh, AI does this and it does that." It doesn't. It doesn't. It's very.
It's only
advanced
as
stuff.
good as, from what I can see, it's only as good as what you put into it, and then you've got to constantly refine it.
Yeah, it's just like I believe in this. It's just like a child at this stage, and so it just needs that constant attention to grow in the proper form.
And develop.
But you can't ask your kid to run a marathon when it's like 2 years old at the moment.
No, you can't. No, but that's how I see it. And as I say, the graphene itself chemically is very interesting, but it has to be used properly, and you can't just throw graphene into anything. I mean, you get graphene oxide, which is very common, very cheap. You get reduced graphene oxide, which is again common and cheap, both of which aren't top notch. They're water susceptible. They're not brilliant. I use a nanoplatelet dispersion, which is a slightly different beast. And mine's is, if the platelet's more than 6 atoms high or 6 atoms thick, that's what I'm looking at. So we use something that's very tightly dispersed, very tightly controlled, and the particle size is such, I mean, it's a nano scale, but the material fits in with all the rest of it. So it's very, very tight. So we use different product, different raw material, different style of raw material, but it's been developed for our purposes. But it'll work in a coating, it works in a detailer. Oddly enough, it'll work in a shampoo, but only to make it slick. In use, it's pointless in an upholstery cleaner, it's pointless in a leather cleaner. You know, you can't just throw it in and all of a sudden I've got a graphene this or a graphene that. It doesn't work like that.
What's this you
Was
get?
that the atomic?
Atomic shampoo. Okay. I like that.
So that's graphene shampoo. That's ceramic.
So our company, Enigma means ceramic, atomic means graphene. Did you touch on the colors at all?
No, didn't go there.
That's what I was trying to find. So in the ceramic coating bottle, and I'm a very big debunker. I love to call people's bullshit out. So in the industry, it's ceramic, like John said, if you didn't, the graphene attaches itself to the ceramic.
Yeah, we did that, but
Yeah, so most companies will come out and say they got a graphene coating, but when they pour it on the pad, it's clear liquid like ceramic, or they have a tinted black bottle. This is jet black.
Should go for it.
See what it looks like.
So you can see the graphene in the middle here. You see how it's darker? It's concentrated. And it's all sitting at the bottom. So for like a true graphene coating, the liquid should be jet black, thicker consistency. It shouldn't be a tinted black bottle and pour out clear. Nor can they say it's not a ceramic coating, it's pure graphene coating. But like John says, it's a science. The graphene binds to the ceramic, and without it, they just separate. They're useless. So, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. People sell because of the buzzword. People sell around these things, and they're not legitimate. Woo. Are you having a rave?
Apparently, yeah. My light was just going crazy for a second. I was wondering, it's like, what do you guys? Oh, dude, that would be so cool. But I think it's a little out of my capabilities at the moment, going there and getting a little loose. Got to stay focused. Well, I was wondering, it's like, are you guys looking to supply boats or like the detailing companies? Because I know we talked about getting training videos and educational content for crew to help them really understand how to become more experts in detailing. Because I've noticed, being as a crew member myself, in these last few years, the standard for a yacht member has dropped tremendously. When it gets to detailing, it's more just you're washing. Yeah, you'll do waxing and whatnot, little protective layers, but there's not that fine, like perfect finish. You'll see swirl marks. You'll see just differences in the colors. I just wanted you to expand a little bit more on that.
So when I go to boat shows, I get very irked when I see them wiping it down with the chamois, washing it with the brush, not taking the proper precautions that I know, but I can't blame them because they don't know, right? They don't know that chamois under a microscope is abrasive and that they're basically just scratching the boat every time they dry wipe it. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the brush. They're not understanding the type of bristles may damage the gel coat or the paint, or not properly prepping the surface by washing it and scratching in dirt. So, yeah, you got $100 million yacht. When I look at it, I see holograms, I see swirls because you made an effort, but you didn't have the proper training or techniques because you're paying, no offense to anybody, a deckhand coming out of a developing country that's wanting to see the world. They're going to jump on a deckhand job for 30, 35,000 euro, not knowing how to manage an asset like this, but being scalded because they fucked up, for lack of a better term. Like I told you, I was on a $73 million yacht, 210 foot. I was at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. And when I looked up, I seen what was holograms. If you're familiar with any products, it's a product called Seriglass. It's a compound polish that's meant to remove scratches out of glass, literal scratches from glass. He had water spots on the hand, on the what he thought was glass on the sun deck. It's a train lens, double-sided plexi type material. He did irreversible damage to it, and I tried everything in my power to help him.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, captain fired him 2 days later.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
I remember that.
Because he was trying to take care of the boat and do his job as a first officer.
Right, but nobody told him.
Nobody told him. He didn't know the material on the boat enough, I feel like. Mm-hmm. Nor did he know the product he was using. Nor did he have the right machine. So there's just several things that I see. Like I could look at it, I could tell the story. I could see which way he polished every time he went left, right, up and down, where he stopped and started, where the product is. The scratches are heavier because that's where he had most product at. So that's how I look at things. And yeah, there's more of a need to beef up these, for lack of a better term, these assets. Because education is most important.
I agree with
education.
Even from the crew's perspective, I think crew will feel empowered knowing that there's more to learn, that, wow, this is actually something to take serious, not just, let me just do my job. Because if they have proper training, I think then we can start creating a higher marketplace for these. So if you're starting out, if you're 18 years old, 20 years old, and you're making 30,000 euro a year, you know nothing. Well, then if you come to us and we help you, sooner or later, you're going to be worth 35, 40, 50K. But then you have to sell yourself at that point. You have to show that you've worked with us and this is what you've done, this is how you took over a position and made it better with our products. And now you have the education to back it up. And now you're worth more to that client.
Yeah.
Same thing for inside, for stewards and everything. We have products. I can't tell you how to make a bed or how to vacuum properly, but we have the products to elevate your experiences, get it done faster, be more efficient. Mm-hmm. You can coat the carpet, brother. You can coat every piece of fabric inside a yacht. So if they spill wine and have a great time, it's just going to sit there and beat up long enough for somebody to come dap it up. Mm-hmm. And if it did penetrate, clean and recoat. Yeah. Instead of replace.
So various things that can be offered.
You go more into those interior products, because I know some of the stews that are listening would be interested in knowing the more efficient way they can clean their vessels and better upkeep the inside of them.
So I'll do you one better. So we have a product called Crystal. Over time, it will start. It's a ceramic bright work cleaner. So all your high gloss finishes, your glass, your chrome, your bright work inside the yacht, your handrails on the outside. On inside, it will help. It looks immaculate. So when you walk in, everything's gleaming like they just took the plastic off and installed it. It will always have a ceramic protection on it. And over time, the fingerprint residue will stop. Like I could take my thumb and try and make a smudge. Sometimes it doesn't make a smudge. Yeah. So after time, it builds up on it. But also, John could potentially work on some I wouldn't say disease, but about constant bacteria fighting products.
Yeah.
So,
The probiotic type,
does that work?
antiviral.
so in the galley,
Well, in the galley or anywhere where there's damp or even anywhere where there's carpets, because it's a probiotic system, it stays in the fibre of the carpet, but it's constantly working.
to fight bacteria,
To fight
diseases.
bacteria, odours, everything really.
So if you cook chicken, seafood, you're cross-contaminating it, and the stew didn't. You as a chef grab the chicken for whatever reason, lapse of memory. Now you grab the plate. Now the stew's taking the plate. Now it's got uncooked food. Just a random thought, uncooked food on it. Now they're taking that there to the guests. Now you have this whole chain of people who have now just gotten in contact with sickness, illnesses.
Yeah, but then you can, as I say, you can do hand gels that will stay on for 4 hours, which will kill most viruses. And you're only applying twice a day.
Incredible, actually. I've never heard
There's all
because
different
you're so
things.
used to just hearing clean it all the time, make sure it's disinfected all the time, use the same products. But if there's something there that
There are products there that
consistently
you can
fighting that
use.
could just help you and your improving your efficiency.
You're almost putting on a micro sponge, and what happens is over the course of the 4 or 5 days it lasts, the sponge leaches out the antibac or the antiviral, but it's all nano scale, so you don't see it, you don't feel it, but it's there. I used that technology in a couple of churches where I stay over COVID to allow the churches to stay open, so there was no contact transfer, and I didn't have one case of COVID over the 18 months or so that were related to the church and contact issues. So we can do all sorts of things. It's a question of getting the feedback and making people aware, as Tyler said, of what's possible.
Because if we don't have it, we can create it, but we do need the structured scrutiny behind it to make it better. So Tyler, this is a great idea. This doesn't work. What I'm doing now is faster and better. I like the idea, so let's change it.
That's what we can do. We offer that sort of service.
And again, wherever you are in the world, we'll have something to you within a week. Not weeks or months.
Yeah.
Nope.
So that's how we do it.
And if I got to fly out, just so be it. Somebody will fly out and personally come rectify it.
Yeah.
To where if I'm not able to do it, then it's down to a product issue. Not just, okay, maybe you're not understanding it right. Maybe I'm not understanding how you're doing it. If I'm not able to do what I'm telling you it's supposed to do, then we can go back and reformulate the product.
And that's what we do.
That's fantastic. This is really interesting. It's just the complete science, man. Not just understanding it with years. How do you design something at the nano level? That's what I'm most curious about understanding.
I know lots of really, really clever people.
Yeah.
And when you buy off a certain, I'm buying raw materials and I manipulate the raw material to a formulation. But I also know the professors or the doctors in these places. And if I say to them, I'm looking to do this, they'll do what I do. They'll go away and try and do it. So before you know it, there's a range of nano graphene, there's a range of other nanomaterials, and you then find yourself, you have access to them. So once you get access to the raw materials, you then start to manipulate them. And then that's where you go, I quite like that. That looks good. I'll ping it to Tyler. Tyler will get it tried. We'll get the feedback. Well, that's not bad. It needs to be this. Right, fine. So we bend it. And that's what we do. So it's a combination. As I say, it goes down all the way to the very end of the chain, which is the raw material supplier. But being in the game for an awful long time, I know a lot of clever people. And I can get information and feed off of them.
And that's what makes things more unique is those people with John aren't going to go sell to another company that, hey, you got something cool that we can use that, maybe Angelwax has. So the relationships John has they're not going to break them. So you can guarantee that what we have in our coatings aren't going to be found, or products aren't going to be found anywhere
else now, in the rural.
Now or then. Because
we're taking material from other industries. As I said earlier, that most people that develop product in this industry haven't, not so much access to, but wouldn't know where to start because it's not in their I hate to use the word lexicon, but it isn't. It's not in their area. So if you don't know they exist and you can actually access them, then you make the same thing as you've always made as you go down the line. Turtle wax, for want of a better term of phrase. No, I'm not knocking turtle wax for a minute. If we were as big as turtle wax, it'd be great. Turtle wax did a great job, but it's quite generic. Not much innovation goes on, but they're brilliant at what they do.
And I think you guys are kind of like at the innovative threshold where it's you've seen what's in the past, but it's like with technology, the way it's developed and the way it's going, it's like there's no stopping it. It's just you kind of need to. And yachting's such a hard market to break into, but it's you guys are
you're trying to offer something unique.
Yeah, it's completely unique. It's something that's not been able to be done on a mass scale before.
Yeah. And then, as I say, you get to the point where ecology-wise and marina-wise, as Tyler tells me, that water is becoming harder and harder to use. And then you have the Waterless product that we're looking at, which doesn't use any water at all and works on a slightly different chemical direction. Have I done something wrong?
No, I was like, poof.
And, that one works completely differently. It's a combination of absolutely old technology, but tied in with absolutely cutting edge with the ceramic side. And it's a blending exercise of very old and very new. So, and it works. And you don't use any water. And you can clean and you don't scratch. So that is, again, developed. Well, it's developed. I mean, when Tyler comes in and says, you've got all these marinas saying that it's going to cost you a fortune to buy the water. You can't wash in the marina itself. You've got to take the boat out and all the rest of it. And you've got a whole raft of ecological issues, especially in the Caribbean. Washing without water, and it literally is a waterless wash.
Waterless, not rinseless, where you may need a little bit of product to cut into a big section of water.
Applied, dried, wiped off, job done. And it is a combination of really old tech, which a lot of these things sometimes are, because let's face it, people have been cleaning boats for millennia, and really cutting edge stuff, having the blend, and again, being able to manipulate the drying and manipulate the application so that it suits the likes of Tyler, putting it on a large surface, because they're basically large surface cleaners. We have large surface coatings as well, where you can coat a wide area or something, but that does involve water. That's a spray and rinse job.
We can disclose some of the other things that we put it on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like aircraft?
It goes on aviation, goes on rail, vehicular. It's going to take a bit of time to persuade these people that's the way of it, but aircraft and rail, for definite, are the two areas where we are using it. The marine side, however, I think is the area where it might just, the rail people, to say how we did the first trial, we did the trial and the idea was it was going to be done in the siding. So the train was going to be pulled off into the siding and they were going to do the trial. No, they decided not to do this. They brought it into the platform at Marylebone Station in London and then told the press and all the rest of it, we're now going to clean this train. So they cleaned the train on the platform in front of everybody with no water. And everybody went, wow.
No,
so that's what they did. It terrified the life out of me because I was watching it. I was watching it from the crowd. I wasn't there as I happened to be there at the time. I was doing a car show at the time. And I'm sitting watching this going, God, this better work. But we're selling it with product going out the door today. So these things are looked at. They work in caravans, RVs, anything that's fiberglass, gel coat, whatever. Trains in the UK tend to be wrapped. So these are on wraps. And it doesn't affect the wrap. So it's all encompassing. It can do most things. And again, the spray rinse coating, which is, a really good maintenance coating, can be done as well. That involves minimal water because you've got to spray it on and rinse it off, and the action of the rinse levels the coating. Then you just let it dry. You don't buff it or anything. So there are lots of other things available, but it's, as Tyler says, it's making people aware of
Like
what you can do.
we can talk your ear off, but when you see the products, it will make sense. When you feel how slick something is and how shiny, how smooth and effortless it was.
Mhm.
Honestly, sell you the feeling. I can sell you the product, but once you use the product, it's a certain feeling that overcomes. It's like, I may have the best thing for what I'm trying to do in the world here.
Mm-hmm.
People really do feel like that.
So it's the way forward, I think, because if you can save, and the rail companies in the UK have saved millions of gallons of water.
So on a super yacht,
it saved an awful lot of money as well.
On a super yacht, it's anywhere from 3,000 to 7,000 liters of water per wet wash, and if they're washing it down once a week, four times a week, or 4 times a month, and then they're paying for water at the dock, or they're having to go offshore, use water on board, fuel to go out there, anchor out there. If there's an anchoring fee, there's that, and you still have the crew that expect the money and need to keep busy.
Mhm.
And if you're doing a wet wash, you're going to start from top to bottom, so you can't do any outdoor deck activities, because if you're below them, you're just going to get soaking wet.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to keep them busy in another way.
So
especially if you're on charter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you know about water spots. They're my best friend. Everything with water is going to spot.
Yeah.
So now you don't have water
spots. Everywhere's like, oh, you missed a spot, and it's just looking you right in the face, and it's just like, son, gone.
First thing the client sees when they get on that water spotted handrail.
And so, can you tell me? I remember you showed me a video about when they were cleaning the side of, looked like a train, and it got all those exhaust fumes off. I was thinking
that's iron.
That's iron.
That's rail iron. Yeah, that brown, bronzy, black stuff is dirt and grime, but also railway. The iron.
Do you think
the rail?
Your product could work with exhaust, say on the aft near the generator exhaust? Those fumes that get onto the boats during charters.
Perfect. I mean, it's taken away aviation exhaust fumes for over 100 hours of constant use, like it's cake. We do have a product. I'm looking at it. It's called gel coat cleaner. It's a certain acid that John has. It's biodegradable, but it still involves washing and spray it on, let it sit, and then you're going to put it in the water. That's an alternative, but this other product, it will, because there's light abrasives in it. So it's a solvent cleaner, there's abrasives in it, and there's ceramic protection and in one product in one step. So you're doing all of these steps in one time. So your exhaust stains should come up pretty easy. And if not, you can put a chemical on it, wipe it away, and then dry wash it.
Yeah, there are always ways.
So what's your guys' plan with the unveiling of this new washing product that shall not be named at the moment?
Well, I think we should maybe come to Palma.
Yeah,
and
come to Palma.
Put it on some big ground there.
I'm just back from Mallorca. So
What did you think of Mallorca? What are you doing here?
Oh, I was just on holiday.
Yeah, it's a great place to holiday. Were you at Magaluf?
No, Sakoma. Magaluf's not necessarily me. No, I was up in Sakoma, Calamalora. So just up the coast for Palma. It's about an hour away. It was great. Nice weather.
This island is perfect. Not the weather at the moment, but
it's got everything. It's got everything. It's got the deep water. It's got the mountains. I'm
actually going into the mountains tomorrow. I'm going to spend 2 days up in the mountains, and then I just did some cliff jumping yesterday. But this place is pure magic.
Oh, brilliant!
Well, sweet,
it's a playground, right?
It's definitely a playground. It's good if you can keep your head on you.
What's that?
There's still a lot of, if you can keep your head on you with the activities you choose, because we've seen to have been having a few incidences in the last few weeks where quite a few crew members have disappeared in a sense. I don't know if they've been found. I think one dude was found, but it's one side of the yachting industry a lot of people don't talk about, but it's some of these places you go to, you gotta keep your head on the swivel.
You got to be careful.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to go have a meeting with my developers here in the next 30 minutes. But yeah, it was a pleasure
thank
talking
you
to you guys. How can everybody find Angelwax and get in contact with you guys?
So you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn, Tyler Wilson. You can look up Angelwax USA and Angelwax Global on Facebook. That's where the global work happens from around the world. And yeah, my phone number is 239 in America, 239-600-9879. Email is tyler@angelwaxym for yachtmanagement.com. I'm at any questions, ask me, phone calls, we'll set them up.
You just deal with
Fantastic,
Tyler and
gentlemen.
comes to me.
Well,
You
it was
do
a pleasure.
me and John.
What's up? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you deal with me and then John deals with me.
It's easy.
It seems like a good funnel you guys got going on there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure meeting you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Bridge Podcast. Get in touch with Angelwax. We're going to put all your details on social media platforms linked into the post, and we'll share them with the platforms. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, get in contact with Tyler. He'll get in contact with John. We'll get you the customized cleaning products that you need and slowly start releasing these new shall not be named cleaning products. But until then, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.